Hey everyone! So today is part 3 of building your business brain. I just posted on Instagram, on my Instagram feed about just the series this week. Just breaking down, starting from the foundations of building your business brain. So if you don't know already, I'm Juliet. I'm a Master Hypnotherapist, and I currently run my multiple six-figure business, even though I have ADHD and I go to grad school. I attend grad school for clinical psychology. And I did a post on how I'm able to manage my schedule and my mind and focus. But I wanted to really just kind of answer some questions that I answered some questions that came up on Twitter, on TikTok, and on Instagram. So basically, I'm no longer on medication for ADHD. I've been training my brain for the past 2 years now. So I've gotten to a point where I've been able to manage just like my focus, my attention, and overcome executive dysfunction, and any anxiety or stress that comes from piling on too much while you are working. So in terms of PTSD, that is something I'll cover that tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going over depression and any trauma. So that is a little different structure, a little different process than with ADHD, but I'm going to cover that tomorrow. I'll focus on that topic. So join me live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with ADHD and anxiety, you're very familiar. Each brain is different. Each type of ADHD is different, but I'm going to talk about it at a general level, and I'm going to cover some of the questions that I got on Twitter. So a lot of people, the questions all talked about what do you do daily for self-care, and then also how do you make tasks that you don't want to do exciting, and also how to basically get over executive dysfunction, that where you can't just kind of piece together what's going on. And the answer to all of those questions or those things is with self-hypnosis. Because you're able to train your brain. So let me explain. When I'm talking about the brain, I'm not talking about the mind. So when I'm talking about the mind, I'm using the theory of the mind, where you have your subconscious, preconscious, and your conscious mind. And so that's what we work with in hypnosis. And then in the brain, that is where your ADHD functions. So, trying to get the right amount of dopamine so you feel focused, so you feel motivated to do certain things. That's what we struggle with. So really, exercise really helps that. Your diet helps that. And also self-hypnosis helps that. And the reason why self-hypnosis is so powerful is because even when I took my medication, I would get that rush. I would get the motivation. But then if I didn't have the belief that I would do well in my business, or the belief that what I'm supposed to do is going to help me in my business, then I would spend that energy, that burst of energy, on fixing my Pinterest board, or reorganizing my photo albums, or reorganizing my tweets, or cleaning up my desktop, or just like trying to find this random movie that I saw in 2014. So my energy would be directed at something that didn't help my business, even though I took medication for my ADHD. And the reason why, you probably experienced this yourself, like you'll take your meds and you're just still not you're still not focused, and you're still not doing what you're supposed to do to work on your business. You just have this influx of energy and it's misdirected, because you also need to work on your belief system. and your belief system that you are going to do well in business, and that what this task that you're doing is going to help you make more money, is going to help you be more successful. So you need to have the combination of your brain on board and your mind on board. So self-hypnosis helps with both. So working on your belief system, we covered that yesterday. The replay for that is available on IGTV. So working on your belief system and really narrowing down and clearing out the beliefs that are blocking you from focusing and doing well in and doing well in your classes and business, whatever you're doing. Because most of us, you're still running a business, but you probably may be working 9 to 5 as well, or you're in school as well. So most of us are doing multiple things. We're not just running a business. So our focus is split. And when you have ADHD or an anxiety disorder, it can really upend your life. And then what happens is when you don't hit that goal, that's further evidence that you're not going to be successful in business, which isn't the case. It's something that you just need to adjust, because just because you have ADHD or anxiety doesn't mean you're not going to be an amazing CEO or leader. That's just how your brain works. It's not really a handicap. Is just a way that your brain works. And so once you are able to master how your specific brain works and adjust it and align it with your business, then you are going to be successful. You're just not going to, the regular 5-step method or blueprint or all that is just not going to work for you. But that doesn't mean that you can't run a business. That doesn't mean that you can't hit 100K in business this year, or finally hit 500K in business and eventually $1 million in business. That's not the case. There's so many 9-figure, 8-figure, 7-figure entrepreneurs that actually have been diagnosed with ADHD. Mel Robbins was just recently diagnosed with ADD. So we are innovators. Our brains, the way that your brain works, is actually a superpower. You're able to be really creative. You're able to really go into flow state. That magical state and hyper flow state when you are focused on something. If you know when you are focused on something, nothing can stop you, right? And so that also makes us really amazing, powerful manifestors as well. So when you have ADHD, focusing on your manifestation being complete and done, you know how we kind of like lock in on something and it just happens. So you can turn that into your manifestation superpower as well. So when you set your income goal and you are able to structure how you're going to make that money, what happens when you have ADHD is that you just really lock into that. You lock into it and you hit that goal. And so you're able to really lock into that by training your brain with self-hypnosis. So it actually is not a disadvantage. It's actually an advantage for, oh, you're so welcome. I'm happy to share it. Because it's something I realized. I thought like, oh no, I'm not like organized. I'm not doing all this stuff. But it's just that you need to hire support for the tasks that are that's difficult for you to get excited for. So there are tasks that are draining to you that don't give you that dopamine hit, right? So don't force yourself to do that. Hire someone to help you do that, because that might give someone else a dopamine hit. Like my assistant loves organizing my YouTube channel. She loves it. She loves Pinterest. All that. There's people that love those things that you can hire to do those things, right? And then you can focus on getting your dopamine hit and staying in flow on the things that you love to do, the things that don't take you, that really fill you with that flow. And so that's the only thing. That's the only reason why it didn't work for us in school, why we struggled in corporate and jobs, is because our brains are not built for this system. The system was not built for our brains. So that's why most of us become entrepreneurs, because then we could build a business that works for our brain. So now that you've decided to be an entrepreneur, build a business that works for your brain. Don't try to do a business like what you see everyone else doing, because that's like you trying to fit in at school again. So now this is your opportunity. Finally build a business, finally build a life that works with your brain. And so you think about the things that you like to really do in your business. Do you like to crunch the numbers? Do you like to do the strategy? Do you like to do the tiny details? And then you write the things that drain you, that really that's hard for you to focus. Like even thinking about it, you're like, oh, I can't. I can't. And so write that down, and then hire people. Take that money that you make and invest it into hiring people to support you. And then you're going to make that money 5-fold, because now your super flow, your hyper flow is going to be focused on the things that you want to do. And then those things are just going to up level. All of a sudden you can see it. So for me, as an example, I like to create content for my Instagram and TikTok. I like to do the videos, but I don't like to do like the slideshows and hashtags and the scheduling and then repurposing it on email lists, all of that stuff. But I like to hop in the camera and do my little skits or whatever. So I split the work. And so now that I split the work and focus on what I do like to do and hop on live, I'm able to hop on live and do this series with you. I'm able to post consistently. And even though I had to put up money up front, I made that money back within the month, because since I was posting consistently, I had more visibility, and people are like, oh, you're a hypnotherapist? Oh, you do this? Because I knew I was a hypnotherapist, but other people didn't know because I wasn't posting. How are people supposed to know about your business if you're not posting, right? So once I started posting more, I got in front of more people, and then I made that money back. You're always going to make that money back. But the time that you spend struggling, trying to, overcome executive dysfunction and get that energy to do this work is time wasted. So now that I'm giving you permission to hire help. People were like, oh, you hire help for school? Yeah. Like, I need my stuff organized. I'm paid for this now. Pay for this now, so I'm gonna hire help. I'm gonna make sure I get good grades and actually pass. So yeah, I invested in help for this because that's how my brain works. So now I'm unapologetic about how I run my business. I'm unapologetic on how I run on what I do in my business, because it's not possible. And also, this is also one of the reasons why I don't do discovery calls. Like, if I get on a call with you and you don't end up becoming a client, that takes away my dopamine. That lowers it, right? So I can't waste that. Like, I need to spend the time on doing things that give me that rush, and it's not discovery calls. But I do love hopping on live. So you have to start looking at your business like that and building a business that works with your brain. So that is the structure. So yesterday we talked about the beliefs. So make sure you watch that replay so you can really start going into the belief system. Because now that you understand and have the permission to build a business that works for your brain, you're going to need to really hone in on the beliefs that are keeping you from allowing yourself to build a business that works for your brain. Because I'm confident in doing that, because I consistently have accumulated evidence that proves to me that I can run the business this way. And the evidence is in my bank account. So you need to start to look at evidence to prove you right and consistently work on that evidence. And so essentially, the shortcut to all of this, and is self-hypnosis, and I teach it in Get Your Shift Together. It's next week, February 1st to 5th. And then it'll be available on demand, but it's better if you join me live, but you can watch the replays. On the last day, I break down how to do my special method of self-hypnosis for brains like ours, for overthinkers, people that struggle with anxiety, and that have been diagnosed with ADD and ADHD. So, because with hypnosis, the regular relaxation technique, we're gonna be like our thoughts are gonna be like ping pong table as we're trying to, like, okay, Juliet, relax, and it's like, what's going on? So I need to do this, do that. So this type of brain training, this type of self-hypnosis is going to get your subconscious mind on board, so you can still take your medication. Please talk to your doctor before anything, but you can still take your medication. But this time when you take your medication, you won't waste that burst of energy on things that are not aligned with your business. So because you believe you're going to be successful now, you're going to actually take that information, harness that energy, harness it on working on your business. Yes, so in terms of delegating, that is really just, you have to write down the things that work for you and don't work for you. Because once you see the things that don't work for you, that is what you have to give away. Because if you hold on to those tasks that you don't want to do, and you keep not doing it, you're wasting your time, and you're wasting the success, and you're prolonging the amount of time it's going to take you to actually hit 100K and 500K. So it's like your success is inevitable, but it's up to you on how fast you get there. So you can get there alone and struggle and cry and work so hard and, go back and forth, or you can have support. Sure. So I use the question method when studying for school. So I highlight the pages, the chapters that I need to study, and then she goes through and picks up and creates the questions for me. And then I use those questions as my study guide. So in terms of your organization skills, I talked about energetic to-do lists. So you look at the things you need to do to start your clothing line, right? If you're just starting out, you look at the things that you need to do to start your business. And when you look at that list, what makes you feel like, I don't want to do this? And put it on one side. What makes you like, oh, I definitely want to pick out the clothes. And then hire someone to do the things that make you feel like, I don't want to do this. And if you don't have the funding, then it's like, save that money. Or you can train your brain to like doing those things, essentially. So you can train your brain to start liking doing those things. Like for me, with my financial stuff, there's aspects to the accounting and bookkeeping that I still have to do. I still have to do certain things within the business. So I started to train myself to actually enjoy doing those things. And this is how you do it. So we just covered how to do your energetic to-do list and organization and delegating, right? Now, let's talk about the things that you can't delegate. Because there are aspects to school and my business, like studying, that I still can't have my assistant do. I have to still take the test, right? And I still have to show up and do sessions. I still have to handle some of the financial aspects of my business. So in order for me to get focused and excited about things that I'm not able to delegate, I once again make a list, right? And then the thing that I must do, that I can't delegate or hire anyone else to do, I write down what I will get by doing this. Like why I have to do this and what I will get by doing this. It could be 1 to 2 sentences. So it's like, okay, Juliet, you have to approve the copy for the website So you can launch and hit your $10,000 goal for the week. It's going to be amazing. So it reminds me what the importance of this action item. And then writing that why and then what I get anchors me to that end result, that happy state. So it helps me visualize the end. Because when you have ADHD, sometimes it's hard for you to get excited about one part of the process, right? If you don't, you're welcome. If you don't, if you don't have the end system, and yeah, exactly, you're creating your customized reward system. And so this is going to help you increase your dopamine levels yourself, and also help you override executive dysfunction, because you are seeing the end goal. And also, if you're in process wise too, so you have the why and you have what you get in return, right? Yes, exactly. If you have a hard time, so for example, part of my business is creating a curriculum for other coaches. So I focus on intuitive inclusivity. So for diversity and inclusion. So I help customize their programs to make sure that they're still able to hold space for Black and Brown clients, right? And so for me, it's not my business, but it is my business. I'm creating it for someone else. And so for me to get started, the first step, like I need to know what the end result looks like. So I write down what the curriculum is going to look like. Like I immediately write down like what the students or their clients are going to do with this program. So after this program is completed, the students should know XYZ and they should feel XYZ and they're going to get it. So now I work on how are they going to feel XYZ and how will they know that? So this way I can get started with step 1, which is creating the module, right? So that's how I'm able to get over that fogginess when you first start anything. Like if you're first starting your business and like you want to start a brand, you want to open up the shop, but it's like, it's a lot. It seems like a lot and it's overwhelming. So you need to go to the end. How will this shop look? Will the people go on Shopify? Will they be able to purchase multiple items? And then you're able to work backwards from there. Because and then you can also take a picture, or you can install the picture in your mind with self-hypnosis. So that's part of the special method. The special method that I use when teaching you my method of self-hypnosis. Because then you can do it instantly when you're feeling a struggle, and then soon it becomes like that. You'll be able to kind of like when you have to come on to something. For example, I never used to be able to do lives because I would get distracted by the comments. But now I'm doing 2 lives, one on TikTok and one on Instagram simultaneously, because I put myself in the zone. And so I created an anchor for me to be put in the zone. Yeah. So, so an important aspect of managing ADHD is sleep as well. So you need to get enough sleep. You have to make sleep a priority. Take naps, go to bed. You must make sleep a priority, or it's really going to make it harder for you to focus, especially if you've been diagnosed with ADHD. But I teach this in Get Your Shift Together. But so today we're just breaking down the structure that you can, if you want to do it yourself, or if you want to join me and Get Your Shift Together to learn it, at least now you have the 3 parts to create this and start to build your business brain. So the first part, just to recap, is to create your energetic to-do list and to hire people to do the things that drain you, because you're just gonna lag if you can't. And then 2, for the things, great, yes, the link is in my bio if you're interested in learning about get your shift together. So then 2 is the things that you can't delegate, is training your brain to love to do it by creating your own by customizing your reward system. So with medication, since I'm not a medical provider, I really can't recommend or not recommend any medication. That's something that you should definitely talk to your doctor about, and they'll be able to help you make a better, more informed decision. So with this particular training, you can use it alongside your medication or without medication. So I'm no longer on medication, but I'm in my 30s, and this is something that I've been working with since my teens. So, and then I've been training my brain now for 2 years. So it's not something that you can do over, like, it's like magic, but it really can, it's life-changing. And you can become a very well-paid person, a professional. I was in tech sales before I started my business, and it was hard though in corporate, because for me, when I walk in the morning, if anyone talked to me, then I'll just be like, okay, let's talk until noon. That just like messed me up. And then when they would set up, they started to try an open floor plan, and I was just talking to everybody. I wasn't paying attention. I'm like, I don't know what you guys want me to do. So they finally put us into a room, and then I got a corner and a desk so I could focus. And it was hard because people thought then, like, oh, are you okay? Are you in a mood? It's like, no, if I start talking to you, I'm just going to want to talk. I'm just want to be like, okay, so tell me your life story. Tell me your mother's life story, your grandmother. Okay, so she came from Germany. Like, what did she wear when she came? What happened? What did you guys eat last night? Like, I will go on a tangent. So I needed to be in the corner, not to talk to anyone at least until noon. Then I could take a break and then come back. So I had my anchors, my mental anchors in place. And then one time it was just like with the open floor plan, and I stopped medication, so I had to take one of my coworkers' medications, and I don't know what his prescription was, but it was way higher than mine. And then of course, like I wasn't on it for a while, so I took it, and I had to write an email to a client. And so I'm writing the email, and I'm like, oh wow. And my manager comes over and taps me on. He's like, Julia, what is this? And I was like, I'm writing an email to the client. He's like, Julia, this is 4-page email. He's not going to read this. I was like, I wanted to explain everything to make sure. He's like, Julia, we're just going to call him. I meant for you to just like send him a quick note so we could hop on a call. And at that time, like, I was just focused on this email. And so I didn't do anything really else for that afternoon except write this long email. And so that's my experience with medication. So with medication or without medication, what training your brain and building these systems will train your subconscious mind to come in and support you when you're not able to support you. So that's what we're doing. So you're focused on training your subconscious mind to do these things for you when you can't consciously get on board and think about it. So even if, I'm at the point where I can still get into writing a sales page copy and having someone do it, or writing an email, because I've trained my brain to just do this, make this something that a skill, a natural skill, just like driving now. And so that's essentially how you're able to master your ADHD and your anxiety, by creating these systems for yourself. So you need to figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and then customize your day-to-day, your week-to-week, and your month-to-month accordingly. And so we go into depth on how to do this and get your shift together. There's only so much I can share in within the live or IGTV, but we have separate. It's 5 days of boot camp, and then on the last day you learn my method of self-hypnosis. And then with this method of self-hypnosis, this is how you are going to install your customized blueprint for success into your subconscious mind. And then you are going to work in accordance to that, and then it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So when we are first born, our brains are like sponges. So we just come into the world with our sponge brains, and then they start to get tracks, neural pathways start to get built in, and they get strengthened over the years by our experiences, our emotions, and our behavior. And so by the time you're 7 years old, you have these built-in neural pathways in relation to money, love, family, a lot of things, and then they get strengthened as you grow older. The boot camp is a live training, and there will be a replay available for you. We're meeting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday next week, but you'll also have the replay to watch it, so you can watch it and rewatch it if you'd like. So with your neural pathways, so right now you're in your 20s and your 30s, and you're starting your business, or you're trying to do all these things, but you're working with your 7-year-old brain. So when you try to hop on live, or you try to get on a sales call, you're going to remember when you try to sell Girl Scout cookies or something and they slam the door in your face. So, you're like, wait, people slam the door in your face, or you've been told that because you have ADHD or because you have anxiety, you're not going to be a strong leader or something like that. So those beliefs have been strengthened. So now you need to build new neural pathways, and you do that with self-hypnosis. We do that spark. It's like that spark. And then when you do that spark and you train your brain consistently, then you have a new neural pathway, and the old neural pathway from your 7-year-old self falls away. And you start to lock in on that, and that starts to work. And then you look back after training your brain, you look back because it's so natural, because it's your brain. There's no side effects. There's no nothing. Yeah, there's no, it's just you. And you look back, or someone will say something, and someone will say, wow, you've changed. Wow, you're so confident now. Like, wow, this is your business. Wow. And then that's when you'll know it works. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, I have changed. You're going to look, because it's so natural, and it's actually you. And then the thing is, it makes you feel stronger and more empowered, because no one can take away the work that you did, because it's inner work. No one can take credit. Even I can't even take credit. Even though I'm the hypnotherapist, I still don't take credit, because it's all happened within you. No one really knows what goes on in your mind except you. So you're the best person to train your brain. You're the best person to start those changes, right? We can be diagnosed with the same type of ADHD, but we still have different motivational cues. We still have different quirks and stuff like that we have to deal with. And then we may want to run a different type of business. So it's important that you start to create this you're exactly the best person to start these changes. So it's important that you start to create your own mental manual. And so the point of so this week I'm going live and I'm breaking it down so you know the foundations. So if you want to do it yourself, you can get started and watch the replays and just get started. But if you want the real guidance to build your mental manual as an entrepreneur to finally hit 100K or 500K, then you can join me in this container next week for 5 days where we go through it. And then I'll teach you how to install this mental manual with self-hypnosis. And then you'll be able to start to train your brain daily like I do. And, it'll be simple from there. You'll be able to manage and really succeed. And people are going to ask you, what's your secret? And it's like, I run my business the way I want to run it. I run my business according to my brain. And that's really it. And we all know now that everything happens twice. Once in your mind and then once in reality. So a lot of the things that you thought you weren't able to have, when you shift your belief system, unlock your identity, adjust your knowledge, and create more empowering habits, you have shifted all the layers of you into place to make the dreams that you have in your mind an actual reality. Because it is possible. So how much do you want to make this year in your business? I'm curious. How much do you all want to make in your business this year? Or how much will you have made in your business? It's December 1st, 2021. How much have you made this year? What popped up in your mind just now, me asking that question? Did you make $105,000? Did you finally hit 300K? $500,000? Yes. 500,000. Who else is joining the 200K? Yes. Okay. Thank you. So yes, we are making multiple six figures here. Oh, thank you so much. 150K. Yes. 30K. Yes. Ooh, 222. Yes. You know me and I love a good angel number. And so think about now, it's January. What was the first 300K? 100K? Yes. And you think about how that's going to feel when you look at your bank account, when you look at your Stripe account, when you look at your PayPal. When people ask you, so did you hit your goals? You're like, yeah, I actually did. Yes, 750,000. Yes. And so and then it's like, how many people, yes, rock for those millions. How many people are you going to help with your money? How many lives are you going to change? I feel like with wealth and with capitalism, right now, the shifts that we can make is more accumulation for people that are actually going to do good with it. Because capitalism isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So what we can do is accumulate that wealth and distribute it in the best way we see fit. So it's better in your hands than in someone else's, right? Yes, we're going where the money resides. Yes. And so with the Get Your Shift Together, it's really aligning all aspects of you and all aspects of your life, because you cannot try to separate your love life from your business, your family life from your business. It's all connected. So you'll also learn how to create boundaries within your business and within your personal life, so you're able to stay aligned. So tomorrow I'm covering depression and trauma and how to avoid burnout. So today was mental mastery. So tomorrow we are going to cover emotional mastery. And we'll uncover how to, yes, and generational wealth. So tomorrow we'll talk about the emotions that go into running a multiple six-figure business, because being able to manage your emotions is going to take you so far. Yes, so for the boot camp next week is just an hour, and then you'll have homework, soul work for the night, and then at the end of 5 days, you'll have your own mental manual, and then you'll install that into your mind with self-hypnosis. Yes, exactly. So I'm going to break down tomorrow really the cause of burnout, because we talk about it like the real true cause of burnout, and how to recover from it, and recover from high functioning depression, and also fear. We're also going to talk about fear and how that can impact you. So they're all connected. So tomorrow I'll break down the causes of it, how to recover from it, and then how to create a prevention plan. Because mental mastery was today, tomorrow is emotional mastery, and then we'll go into greater detail in the masterclass at the end of the week. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, everyone. So if you missed the beginning, this will be available on Instagram, on IGTV, so you can watch this replay if you missed the beginning of this. And be sure to get the free guide, the Get Your Shift Together guide. It's linked in my bio on TikTok and on Instagram, so you can download it. And then I'll be sending you emails with more in-depth work that you can start doing in the meantime, just in case you can't catch the lives. You're so welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I will see you tomorrow night.